Coming up on UCF Nightly News.
What crime trends are looking like as we close the semester.
Plus, a new health ban that is affecting those in the LGBT community.
And how controversy continues to surround the World Cup.
Nightly News starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Nicolle Osorio.
And I'm Terry Gilliam Jr. Today is Friday, December 2nd, 2022. Criminal mischief can be very common on college campuses. However, here at UCF, there has been a surprising trend. I got to investigate this new development. UCF student Oliver Casey was a victim of crime on campus earlier this year. His catalytic converter was stolen, but he knows crimes with less magnitude will be at a higher rate on campus.
Yeah, I think with the petty theft, you're just going to see a lot more of it right now because it's incredibly easy here on campus to steal something of lesser value, and people might not even notice it's stolen.
The 2022 crime report shows that even in October alone, petty theft is the most repetitive on the list. Crime analyst Lindsay Svensson explains what this type of crime consists of.
And that means just the property that was stolen was $100 or was at $100 or less than $750.
And although the 2022 fall semester hasn't officially ended yet, there has been 86 reports of petty theft, much larger than motor vehicle theft, something that's a trend on a university campus. Svensson uses numbers and formulas to calculate what crime trends look like. This information is gathered before it's presented to the department.
I present that to our command staff, and so we compare between last year, the past 5 years, what we think is going to happen the next semester based on previous numbers.
UCFPD says they hope to see crime decrease, but can't predict what future semesters will look like. UCFPD says they'll have the official crime report by spring 2023. The report can be viewed at police.ucf.edu and is accessible to the public.
The College of Optics and Photonics is being recognized by the U.S. News and World Reports as a top 25 institution. UCF Optics program has been ranked 24th among the best universities programs. This ranking puts UCF at number 9 out of all universities in the United States. Professor of Optics and Photonics Peter Delfayet has worked at UCF for 30 years. He says this ranking is due to the work and research students and faculty have done in their labs.
This brings great visibility, great recognition, and most importantly, it puts a great seal of approval on the students that graduate from UCF.
Fayette says this is an outstanding accomplishment for a younger university. He hopes this will show future students they have the opportunity to work with some of the world's best. The College of Nursing at UCF received a multi-million-dollar donation that will help them to expand the program. According to UCF officials, these funds were gifted by leaders from the Dr. Phillips Charities to show the importance of nurses throughout the Orlando community. The goal is to help increase graduation rates in UCF for nursing majors to combat the nation's critical shortage. The goal is to have this building finished by the 2025 to 2026 school year.
Central Florida Retina partnered for the first time with the American Diabetes Association, and one hope to celebrate new developments coming in the industry. Nightly News reporter Ruby Merced explains how these two industries are coming together.
Central Florida Retina and One Hope hosted the Wind Down Diabetes event to raise funds for the American Diabetes Association. Diabetes affects the back of the eye, causing it to bleed, leading to serious vision problems or blindness. The clinic plans to offer the new topical drop treatment in 2023 for diabetic macular edema named OCS-01 when the FDA approves it. Dr. Zachary Martin is an optometrist in Winter Park, Florida. He says OCS-01 is the first non-invasive way to treat the back of the eye.
But it basically penetrates the eye's wall in a different manner that they've never been able to do before, and can get to the back of the eye without being invasive.
Christine Bruno is the CFR clinical supervisor. She says her mother is a diabetes patient and does her yearly checkups at Central Florida Retina's office.
She does have some retinal issues that does go on, but fortunately she's diet controlled but she does get her yearly diabetic checks, and so far so good.
Central Florida Retina has new things coming in 2023, including opportunities for UCF students interested in ophthalmology. Dianelis Figueroa is the Chief of Public Relations for Central Florida Retina. She says they will provide a program for UCF pre-med students who are looking to grow within the industry.
We're really trying to do a program for next year where we'll have about 4 students and just provide them the ability to actually know a little bit more of the ophthalmology side of medicine.
The new program starts in January 2023, and the students can contact the CFR's office for more information. In Orlando, Ruby Merced, UCF Knightly News.
The clinic also plans to offer a new eye drop treatment that could help ease symptoms for diabetic patients. It's pending FDA approval.
Chances are you may have seen the big red bus in various locations across campus. In the wake of recent shootings across the nation, UCF PD hosted a blood drive event to raise awareness for the blood shortage. Nightly News reporter Leanne Figueroa has more on how the UCF community is contributing.
The Gun Violence Archive says there has been 618 mass shootings in the U.S. in 2022 so far. That's 618 tragedies, including Uvalde and recently Colorado Springs. Orlando knows the feeling all too well, and in the aftermath of these disasters, community members are often left with the need for blood. The UCF Police Department is hosting one of many blood drives that occur here on campus, specifically aimed towards ensuring a blood supply for first responders and victims of tragedies. Students, faculty, and staff get on the big red bus between classes to donate blood, platelets, or plasma. UCF student Samuel Pabon just finished his 3rd donation and truly feels like he is making a difference.
I never really knew about it, and then after donating the first time, I was like, this is so easy. Kind of like exercising your power as a citizen. Voting is one way, but another way to directly impact lives, again, is donating blood.
Donors play a major role in saving lives in the hours right after an incident happens. She hopes it never has to be used, but One Blood representative Susan Forbes says that having a consistent community blood supply can have a big impact.
The biggest message to the community is to not wait for a tragedy to become a blood donor. In an instant, any one of us can find ourselves on the receiving end of a blood transfusion, and that blood has to be there in advance of you ever needing it.
If you're physically able, you have the capability to support those in need right here in our town. In Orlando, Leanne Figueroa, UCF Nightly News.
The next opportunity for you to donate blood on campus will be January 9th, which is the first day of the spring semester.
Major ticket distributor Ticketmaster is under fire after several government agencies launched an investigation into the company for antitrust violations. The company mismanaged the upcoming Taylor Swift tour sales, with the site not being able to keep up with the demand. This led to the general sale being canceled. The result of the investigation should come out within the next few weeks.
The Florida Board of Medicine has a potential new rule underway about transgender healthcare for young adults. Nightly News reporter Gianna Ford tells us more about how this impacts UCF students.
Florida became the first state to take action to limit care for transgender youth through a medical board ban. Florida's Board of Osteopathic Medicine has also voted to restrict the use of gender-affirming care for minors. Florida Representative Anna Escamani describes how this will have a ripple effect on Florida healthcare for all people, not just newly transitioning minors.
That would also open up the door for the Board of Medicine to ban other types of healthcare services, abortion included. And it really sets an anti-LGBTQ plus fervor that impacts the ability of students even coming to Florida.
According to survey data from Gallup, 1 in 5 adults in Generation Z are members of the LGBTQ plus community. If this rule goes into effect and starts an anti-LGBTQ plus agenda, this could limit the access to health care for UCF students.
Right here behind me is the UCF pharmacy, where UCF students typically go to pick up their prescriptions. But now with this new rule of law, we don't know what the future of that may look like.
UCF is home to many students in the LGBTQ+ community and provides a safe space for them. LGBTQ+ students like Trey Francis say not everyone who is part of the community is the same.
It shouldn't be like, oh, like, you know, it has to be this way. You have to be either this or that. And it's like, that's not how it is for a lot of people.
At a time when Americans are increasingly supportive of equal rights for gay, lesbian, and transgender people, a growing percentage of Americans identify themselves as LGBTQ+. Representative Escamati says the trans healthcare ban was 9 steps back to the 10 steps that we have just taken forward in the fight for equality. In Orlando, Gianna Ford, UCF Nightly News.
If you want to speak out, the Florida Board of Medicine is taking public comments online until December 5th at ag.eqfl.org. Well, I don't know about you guys, but it seems pretty cool outside for December in Florida.
I know, Savannah. Tell us about that.
Well, guys, hurricane season did just end Wednesday, so we have pretty cool temperatures this weekend. It's going to be a low of 61, about a high of 80, so you can go out and enjoy Disney Springs or Lake Eola, enjoy the Christmas lights this holiday.
Thank you, Savannah. Stay tuned to find out how UCF is raising awareness for World AIDS Day.
Plus, how students are ringing in the holiday season. We'll be right back.
How was that, Jackie?
The 2022 World Cup is meant to be a global celebration. This year, however, controversial issues have come to light. I spoke with a UCF student that's going to the World Cup about these issues. Nicolle Vasconez is getting everything ready for her flight to Doha, Qatar. This is her first time attending a World Cup. She says she's looking forward to cheering on her country, Ecuador, live.
It will be awesome. I'm super excited. I know that it will be like a lot of emotions there.
The FIFA World Cup brings sports fans together every 4 years to share their passion for soccer. While the world comes together to celebrate one of the most recognized sporting events in the world, there is a dark side looming around that not everyone knows about. The 2022 World Cup is being surrounded by controversy over allegations of bribery and corruption among FIFA officials, and over human rights abuses that have persisted. Vasconez was unaware of the ongoing issues and says it's unfortunate to know this is happening.
I'm super terrified with all of the things that have happened. I didn't know that a lot of people suffered.
A 2022 investigation by The Guardian found that more than 6,500 migrant workers from 5 different South Asian countries had died in Qatar since 2019. UCF Middle Eastern Studies Director Hakan Osorio says Qatar will continue to stay in the public spotlight.
The controversy will continue, as you will see, because this is an Islamic country that is pushing for the limits of individual freedoms like LGBT community rights and drinking.
Countries including Germany have publicly condemned the abuse allegations through peaceful protests. The World Cup kicked off November 21st, and the final will be held on December 18th.
The Iranian Student Association raises voices for justice. They gathered for the first time to participate with over 200 global universities, with their goal is to show respect for Iranians killed during the protest. The club also made paper boats in memory of Kian Perfilak, a 10-year-old shot by the regime security. IRSA will have posters on campus to engage more students to advocate for their country.
Actually, that's the initiation
To celebrate World AIDS Awareness Day, the Multicultural Student Center hosted a banquet in efforts to educate students on campus. HIV and AIDS infections are at all-time high in 2022. There are about 38 million people living with HIV globally, as UNAIDS.org estimates. In the last year, there were about 1.5 million new infections. Deborah Coffey from Multicultural Student Services tells us why raising awareness is so important.
So today is World AIDS Day, and is a really important day because it showcases the impact that HIV and AIDS has had within our society and within our world. And different demographics are impacted by HIV and AIDS more because of not having adequate resources.
The ensemble company from Oviedo conducted a live reading of The Normal Heart, which details the AIDS crisis from the 1980s. To learn more about HIV or AIDS, visit UNAIDS.org. The UCF Campus Activities Board made it snow in Central Florida with a winter wonderland. Students got to participate in a fun night of dancing in bubbles and playing carnival games. From taking 360 videos, playing games with friends, to riding a mechanical reindeer, students were able to enjoy the beginning of the winter season. Students were able to de-stress and have a little bit of fun before finals next week. CAB hopes to continue to hold events like this in the future.
With the holiday season in full swing, the annual Night Season of Joy concert is just a day away.
Nightly News reporter Kayla tells us how the UCF choir persevered through multiple campus closure to put on this year's show.
The concert is a tradition that began in 2021. Performing in the show are several choir groups, as well as the UCF Orchestra and voice faculty. Preparation for the show started in mid-October, with students meeting 2 to 3 times a week for as many as 2 hours at a time to rehearse. Director of Choral Activities Dr. Jeffrey Redding says when classes were canceled due to the hurricane, students took matters into their own hands.
So we lost maybe like 6 rehearsals with those times. That being said, the students bounced back and came up with some extra times that they could kind of fit in to make up that time. So I'm really proud of them.
Due to COVID restrictions last year, the concert was held outdoors at the Dr. Phillips Center for Performing Arts in downtown Orlando. This year, the show will be held at the same venue inside of the Walt Disney Theater. Students are excited to showcase their talent and hard work on the same stage that many famous stars have performed on over the years.
We've already performed in the Steinmetz Hall, and that is just a whole masterpiece in itself, I guess. But knowing that I get to go perform on a stage that Broadway people perform on, I'm like, that feels amazing.
The show will feature holiday tunes from a variety of different genres. The audience can expect to hear gospel, holiday classics, and music dating as far back as the Baroque period, with compositions by artists like Mozart. In Orlando, Kayla, UCF Knightly News.
To purchase student tickets, you can contact the UCF School of Performing Arts box office by calling them, or you can also send them an email at boxoffice@ucf.edu.
Coming up, what the weather will look like in the City Beautiful. Welcome back to Nightly News. It's feeling beautiful outside just in time for the holiday break. But will these temperatures stick around for the close of the semester? Let's toss it over to Savannah for our weather forecast.
That's right, Terry. It is looking beautiful here in Central Florida and across the whole state. We have highs of 75 in Jacksonville and also in Tampa. And in Tampa, we have 81. In Orlando, we have a high of 81. In Miami, a high of 80. And then in the lows for Florida, we have Tallahassee, a low 54, Jacksonville, a low 58, Tampa, a low 62, Orlando, a low 64, and Miami is 72. The rain percentage across Central Florida and Florida is 10%, not to any rain coming any chance. And for the 5-day weather forecast, we have 5-day weather forecast, we have a high of 81 Saturday, a high of 80 Sunday, a high of 79 Monday, high of 82 Tuesday, and a high of 84 Wednesday. With the lows of Saturday, 61%, low Sunday, 61, Monday, 63, Tuesday, 64, and Wednesday, 65. Overall, it will be a 10% chance of rain for the rest of 5 days.
All right, toss.
And back to Nicolle and Terry for more.
Thank you, Savannah. Up next, how UCF will perform in the Big 12 Conference.
Plus, a look ahead at Saturday's AAC showdown between the Knights and Tulane.
Good afternoon, Knights. I'm Kayla Lewis, and welcome to your UCF Sports Update. UCF is concluding their final season in the AAC and hope to continue its success in a bigger conference. It was announced in August that UCF will join the Big 12 in 2023. Fans believe this season was a gauge to how the team would fare in the Big 12 and are excited about the move.
I mean, it sucks that I'm a senior and I'm like, it happens now, but going to the Big 12 is awesome for our students. I'm excited.
Knights fan base seems confident in the new opportunity for the program, and the team may have to perform at a higher level to compete against tougher opponents. The Big 12 has 3 teams currently ranked in the top 25 of the college football playoffs, with TCU ranked at number 3 in the nation. The UCF Knights are heading to the American Athletic Conference Football Championship this Saturday. Following a win against USF last Saturday, the Knights clinched their spot in the championship against Tulane. Both teams have cracked the Associated Press's top 25 teams for the 2022 football season. UCF ranks number 2 in the American Conference and ranks at number 22 on the AP poll. The championship game will be played tomorrow, December 3rd at Yeoman Stadium in New Orleans. As the 2023 spring baseball season approaches, the team is looking ahead with 17 new faces on their roster. Last season, the Knights finished second in the American Athletic Conference with an overall record of 35-25, including a 14-10 mark in conference play. The new lineup of players joining the Knights this season include 8 freshmen and 9 transfers. However, a familiar face joining the team is none other than John Rice Plumlee, who was on the roster last year but was a transfer and wasn't able to play.
All right, we're tossing now.
Hey, Terry, that's all I have, but what do you think of our quarterback joining the baseball team?
You know, Kayla, I think it's great, actually. I grew up hearing that all the greats play too, and Allen Iverson was a multi-sport athlete, and he turned out pretty great. Am I right?
Well, I don't really know anything about football or sports, but I definitely think we should prepare for this holiday.
I'm sure I'm excited to go home and visit family and just look at all the different Christmas decoration.
Well, that's our time for right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us at our website, Knightly News, at ucf.edu. Oh my God, I said an email website.
And if you have a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynews.ucf.edu. Stay tuned for another episode of Nightly News and a special edition of the 407. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful holiday season.